Hey, welcome to Outsmart Your Guitar. Glad you could join us. Today in part 3 on building better progressions, we're going to continue what we started in parts 1 and 2, but we're going to take a little bit different tack this time. And so let's just get right to it and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Be sure to like and subscribe to Outsmart Your Guitar along the way. Let's go. All right, we're just gonna dive right in. So the chords are all bar chords. We start with an A minor, do a D minor, back to the A minor, E minor 7, A minor again, D minor, G, back up to the A minor, down to F, C, G, and then we're back to the beginning again, A minor. Now you'll notice this is in 12/8 time. That means there's 12 beats to the measure and the 8th note gets the beat. So there's 12 eighth notes technically in a measure, each one being a beat note. So you'll notice right off there's a quarter note with a dot. That's a dotted quarter note. And that's worth 3 beats. Now, how did we get there? A quarter note is equal to 2 eighth notes, just like in fractions, right? 1/4 is 1/8 plus 1/8, right? That's 2 eighths, which is a quarter. So half of a quarter note is an eighth note. The dot, well, the rule of the dot is that it is worth 1/2 the value of the note it's attached to. Since a quarter note is equal to 2 eighth notes, half a quarter note's value is an eighth note. So the dot is equal to an eighth note as well, thus giving us the 3rd beat. And then you have an eighth note and an eighth rest and an eighth note and then another dotted quarter and so forth, right? So how you would play and count this is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, rest on 11, 12. All right? And so therefore, how you would play this progression is like this. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so forth. All right. Now, you'll notice I had a couple of hanging over notes that I clipped. Don't worry about that so much. Not a big deal. So now you'll also notice I was playing a lot of downstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This way, it actually plays better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that I can keep better time. If you try to strum this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, it just feels awkward. And it doesn't quite have the aggression that you might want as well. So, all downstrokes, playing to the 8th note, since that's the beat note, right? So all beat notes are downstrokes. All right, now, there's 2 ways to count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or you can look at this as being in 4/4 and playing triplet eights. So you'd be going 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. And so you'd play it like this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. If that's easier to count, go for it. Both ways are valid and the feel remains the same because you're still technically playing to the eighth notes and having that slight shuffly swing feel regardless. All right? So pause the video. If you need to rewind and listen to the explanation and demonstration, by all means, go for it, right? And then pause again and get this down, learn to play this, put it to a metronome. Now, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's around 140 or so beats a minute because you're getting every eighth note click. Or you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, like this, right? Do it on 1, 4, 7, and 10, right? So that you're technically playing like you're in 4/4 with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that will be somewhere around 40, 50 beats a minute. Okay? So take your pick on how you want to count this. Get it down, and again, use the metronome to help you stabilize and smooth out and stay consistently in tempo. All right? Then, when you're ready to move forward and get to the next bit, press play. All right, got the progression down, right? Good. What we're going to do now is we're going to play with the progression, not by changing any chords. The chords are going to remain static. They're going to remain the same. What we're going to do now is employ a device called a fill. In this particular case, the fill is going to act as a response to the vocal line being sung called the call. So the vocalist will sing their line while you're playing chords, and that's the call, and then you'll pipe in with a guitar line, the response. It's an amazing device that's been used in blues forever. Rock and rollers picked up on it. They now use it, of course. And so now you're going to learn how to do it if you don't already know. So let's just get right to it. All right, as you look at the passage that we're going to be going over here, don't think of this as one big thing. It will be a little too overwhelming, particularly if you haven't been playing a long time. So what we're going to do is employ the additive process. I've talked about this elsewhere in my lessons. Basically, the additive process is very straightforward. You learn one measure, then you learn a second measure, and then you combine the two measures. Then you learn another measure and combine it with the previous two measures and play them, and you get them down. You'll see what I'm talking about as we go through this. So let me just get started. As you can see in the diagram, we've got the A minor in the first measure. Now you just start out playing the rhythm part as you learned it previously. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest on 5 and 6. Now, take your first finger and put it across the third and the fourth strings, and you play that. Now, I'm hybrid picking, so I'm going to be picking the fourth string and plucking the third string and hammering on with my third finger from 5 to 7 on the fourth string. And then I move over here and do the same thing, picking the third, plucking the second. Okay, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So pause the video and work that measure out. And rewind and listen to and watch the demonstration and explanation if you need to do that. And then pause and work it out. Get it smooth. And when you're ready, press play, and we'll get to the second measure. Now, the second measure, you go right to D minor, and except we're going to just play the root tone on the first 3 beats. So 1, 2, 3, that allows you to get these fingers in place for 4, right? So you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, rest on 5 and 6 again. Then your second finger will be on the 6th fret of the second string, and your first finger will be on the 5th fret of the third string. and you're going to hammer on to the 7th fret of the 3rd string with your 3rd finger on 7. 7, 8, 9, and then put your first finger across 3 and 4 on the 5th string and hammer on the 5th fret, and then hammer on to the 7th fret on the 4th string for 10, 11, 12. So that measure goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So pause and learn that measure nice and clean and smooth. And then press play, and we'll put them together. All right, let's put these first 2 measures together. All right, so what you're going to do is play through them nice and easy. Don't worry about being too strictly in time. Just get through playing them. And here's what you're going for: 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right? So pause the video and go through these. Now this is where you take a little bit of extra time and smooth it out and set up your metronome at the tempo you're more or less able to play this. So you can count it again as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just like with the rhythm, right? Or you can count it 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. So depending on how you count it, that's how you want to set up the metronome. I recommend going 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4, and just having the metronome 2, 3, 4, and up, right? That'll make it a little bit easier to deal with. Okay, so go ahead, practice these 2 measures, solidify it, put it together, and make it really work for you, all right? Then press play when you're ready to continue. All right, let's look at the next 2 measures, measures 3 and 4. We're back to the A minor, so 1, 2, 3, 4, rest on 5 and 6. Now you're going to hold your finger on the 2nd and 3rd strings on the 5th fret for 7 and 8, and then 9, and then on 10 you're going to hammer on from 5 to 7 on the 4th string, 10, 11, 12. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so if you want, pause the video, practice this measure, get it down nice and smooth, and then press play when you're ready for the next measure. All right, let's look at measure 4. Now, you ended measure 3 here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to flip over to our E minor 7 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then A minor on 7, 8, 9, and then back to the 2nd and 3rd strings at the 5th fret with your first finger for 10, 11, but you're going to go to the 3rd fret of the 5th string on 12. So here's what you're going to go for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right? Again, pause, get this measure worked out, smooth it out, and then press play, and we'll put these 2 measures together. Okay, let's put the 3rd and the 4th measures together. 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you'll notice when I did this, I played the note, the root note on 1, 2, and 3 of the A minor, and then hit the rest of the chord as the accent on 4. And then on the E minor 7, I did the same thing. Did the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, rest 5, 6, played the whole chord, 7. Now here, you want to play pretty much all of the A minor for 7, 8, 9. All right? So just a little thing there. Okay, so pause and get those two measures together, then press play, and we'll put all 4 measures together. Okay, let's put all 4 measures together. Here we go. 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what you're going for. So, pause the video. Again, don't worry too much about timing right at the beginning of working out, playing through all 4 measures. Just get everything happening where it's supposed to happen. Then smooth it out and find the tempo that you're able to play it on the metronome, and play to the metronome these first 4 measures and get it nice and smooth. Trust me, you want to do this because this will help you improve quicker. You'll also notice the first measure, maybe the second or third measure are really starting to come together, and the 4th measure may also be really easy for you. Everything else will slowly begin to fall into place because you're going to be doing this repetition thing as you add new measures. All right? So, pause, practice, put it to a metronome, and when you're ready to keep going, press play. Let's look at measures 5 and 6. Now, these are going to be the most difficult measures in the whole thing because you're going to be jumping around a lot to make these work. So we're on the D minor. We've hit this C note at the end of the 4th measure. Now you're just going to move up and play the root of the D minor for 1, 2, 3, 4, mute 5 and 6, and then jump up to the 10th fret, 2nd and 3rd string with your first finger, and 7, 8, 9, and then hammer on 10 to 12 on the 4th string for 10, 11, 12. Okay, so let's look at that measure again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So pause, work this out. Nice and easy, and get it down, get everything working where it's supposed to work. So make sure you count out loud while you're doing this so you know what note happens at what point in the count. This is why I count over the top of it, so you can hear where things occur in relation to the beat count. All right? Then, once you got this measure down, press play, and we'll get to measure 6. All right. So you ended measure 5 here. So now you're going to just slide that finger down, use that as a connection, and just play the root and the 5, basically a 5-chord version of the G here to get you started. 1, 2, 3, and then you can get the rest of your fingers, you can get these 2 fingers in place if you want to hit 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now there's no rests here, so you're going to take your 2nd finger, even though I have 3rd written, you can do your 3rd finger up to 7 on the 6th string, or you can do this, use your 2nd finger to get that done. So for example, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Or you could use your third finger like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, from here, you're going to take your third finger on the fourth string and slide up to 9 for 7. Put your second finger on the 8th fret of the second string for 8, and then back to the fourth string for 9. And then slide your third finger up to 12 for 10. Put your fourth finger on the second string at 12 for 11, and then back to your third finger for 12. All right, so here's what you're doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Pause the video and work this measure out. This will be probably one of the tougher measures you'll come across in this passage. So take your time getting it down before continuing. And once you've got it fairly smoothed out, go ahead and press play, and we'll play the 5th and 6th measures together. All right, let's look at the 5th and 6th measure. So it'll go something like this when played together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whoops, 12. Okay, let me do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, much better. All right, so pause and put these two measures together. Smooth them out as you do so. Count out loud, just as you heard me doing, so you know where each note is supposed to occur, right? Very important. I know I reiterate this a bit, but it's that kind of important, and that's why you count out loud, so you can hear where the count is and whether you're hitting the right notes in the count. Okay? Then, once you've got that done, restart the video, and we'll put the first 6 measures together. All right, let's put those first 6 measures together. You ready? Here we go. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's what you're going for. So, take your time here. Pause the video. If you need to listen to the playback, the demonstration again, go ahead, rewind it anytime. If you want to listen to something or review something, use the rewind function and listen to it again until you understand it, and then sit down and play it yourself. Now, when you get these 6 measures together, put it to a metronome and play it at a tempo where it all flows smooth. As you get more involved, you may need to slow the tempo down a little bit. That's okay. You know, I use the term quality of execution. That is more important than speed. Play it where you can play it smooth and flowing and make it sound the way it's supposed to sound. That matters more than anything. And that's where the metronome helps you to be able to play smooth and flowing and in time, right? So take your time with this. This may be some really difficult stuff for some of you, and that's okay. You want to be challenged. Okay? So when you're ready to move on to the last two measures, go ahead and hit that play button. All right, let's look at measures 7 and 8, the final two measures of the passage. We're back to A minor, so you just hit the root for 1, 2, 3, 4, rest on 5, 6, you play the open low E string. 6, that allows you to move and get your fingers ready to play the F. Now all you want to play on the F is the root and the 5. That's all you need for 7. And now I know I have 3 written there, so you can move 3 on the 6th string up to 5, or you can move your second finger 7, 8, right? 7, 8, 7, 8. Take your pick. And then 9, 10, 11, 12. So it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Pause the video. Get this measure down. Get it smoothed out. And when you're ready for the final measure, press play. All right, let's look at the final measure. Now, you've ended with your 3rd finger here on the 5th fret of the 5th string. Now it's just a simple matter of, for 1 of the next measure, 1. And then on 2, put your 1st finger across the 3rd and the 4th strings at the 5th fret and 2, and then add your 3rd finger on 7 of the 4th string, 3, back to the 5s for 4, 5, 6, then down to just the 1 and the 5 of the G for 7, 8, again, 2nd or 3rd finger up to you, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you notice there's a similarity between this and this. They are literally the same. This is carrying over a thematic concept. All right, so we just have a little stuff in between them. So here is the 8th measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Pretty straightforward stuff. All right, pause the video, practice this, get it smoothed out. Then, when you're ready, press play and we'll put measures 7 and 8 together. Okay, let's put 7 and 8 together. Starting on the A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you're back to the A. All right? Pause. Practice these 2 measures, get it down, and smooth it out. Even put them to the metronome to make sure you're playing it nice and smooth and even. Then, when you're ready to continue, press play, and we'll put all 8 measures together. All right, all 8 bars in one take. This is what you're going for. 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. the 1 to the A minor at the beginning and starts all over again. So that's what you're shooting for. Now, the cool thing about this kind of call response rhythm part is that it is actually a great foundation if you are looking to get into learning songs like Little Wing or Lenny and other songs of this nature that are self-accompanied guitar parts, right? This is where you start. Getting things like this together, understanding the chord partials involved in putting this together will help you to move towards that goal. So this is why I recommend you get this 8 bars down, put to metronome, smoothed out, and playing wonderfully, because it will give you that foundation. And then find other things like this that help you build upon this foundation so that you can get into playing songs like Little Wing or Lenny if that's what you're looking to do. All right? So take your time here. Spend as much time as is necessary to get all 8 bars down. Then press play when you're ready to move on. All right. Now it's your turn. I'm just going to play this progression, and your task will be to modify this progression based on what you've learned in this series. You can do chord voicing changes, you can do arpeggiations, you can do fills, you can do all of it. Take your pick how you want to approach this, but really, the object here is do a few different versions. Play around with this progression and see how many different ways you can put it together and get it sounding cool. So remember, I'm giving you a starting place. Where you end up is up to you. So you can change the feel, anything, everything. The sky's the limit. So here's what I'm giving you. All right? Have at it. Enjoy tearing this beast apart and seeing what you can do with it. Again, anything goes, including changing the feel and the cadence and whatever else to get it to be more. All right? All right, I hope you had fun with that last progression, and I really encourage you, do take this progression and do all kinds of things for it. Come up with at least 3 different ways to play it, to show you how you can take any given progression and make it more, right? The theme of this series, more. And seriously, put it to work. Put what you've been learning to work. Nothing more tragic than learning something and then not using it and forgetting it and having to come back and learn it all over again. Been there, done that, no fun, never doing it again. All right? So please have fun with this. And again, thank you for letting me spend the time with you. I hope this has been beneficial and helped open up new avenues of thought, because that's what it's all about for me, to help you become the guitar player you desire to be by opening up those avenues to make you think differently about things than you thought before, or just simply to learn things you've been wanting to learn. All right? Okay, I got a lot more material, as you know, so check it out, and we'll see you next time.